Hi, I'm Chaplain Dell. Welcome to the pathway of spiritual recovery. I always like to start off my presentation with a short story. And this one about the great Louis Armstrong. A woman told Louis to go down to the spring and get a bucket of water and bring it back to her. So Louis went down to dip the bucket in the water, and there, looking at him out of the water, was a pair of eyes from an alligator. Scared to death, Louis left the bucket and ran back to the old lady, and she said, "Where's my bucket of water, Louis?" He said, "Miss Allie Mae, I went down there and I put that bucket in the water, and there was a pair of alligator eyes looking at me. I ran. That gator scared me to death." She said, "Louis, that alligator has been there for years, and he probably is more afraid of you as you are of him." Louis said, "Miss Allie Mae, if that alligator is as scared of me as I am of him, then that water ain't fit to drink." Being a New York State chaplain at the Oasis Addiction Treatment Center in Staten Island, New York, has given me a new perspective on how the individuals in rehab view their past lives and their current prospects for the future. I conduct church services on Sunday mornings and also walk the halls in the evenings to make myself available to those who wish to sit and chat about whatever is on their minds. I also provide individual blessings to those who ask, as most come to rehab fearful of the future and resentful of their past, especially honing in on their failures in trying to stay off drugs or alcohol. Most residents of addiction treatment centers are scared and apprehensive and are looking for a pathway to spirituality that they desperately seek, have long forgotten, or resentful of having been turned off from what I like to call organized religion because of how they are viewed as, quote, sinners due to their addiction. I'm perfectly okay with others referring to Buddha or Muhammad or Yahweh or whomever they call their higher power. I have conversations with Christians, Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, atheists, and agnostics. I have to tell you that all of them have a degree of spirituality in them, whether they wish to admit it or not. I always thought that religion and spirituality were the same thing. No, that's not true. I've come to realize that religion means being committed to a practice or belief within a structured program, and being spiritual means actively living life through life's giving force. In that regard, my attempt is to help each individual to tap into their unsuspected inner resource of spirituality that will provide them with grace and peace. When a man or woman has a spiritual awakening, they now become able to do, feel, and believe that which they could not do before. One of the individuals I speak with about her spirituality said to me that her life had just changed in an instant and that she had an apostrophe. I said, "An apostrophe?" I explained to her that she did not have an apostrophe, but had an epiphany, which was an illuminating discovery of self. While providing services, I do not give what I refer to as sermons, but I provide life-giving stories of hope, fortitude, awareness, grace, and peace, using simple examples and stories that I can easily identify with. I'm a storyteller. Stories, I've found out, are the most persuasive element of all, as they allow you to present a problem, a solution, and the results, all while the connotation of the story allows the listener to accept and forgive themselves on the concept of these stories. I have moved from a concept of one size fits all to a more diverse approach to moving forward. I liken my approach of spirituality as not coming in through the front door of the church, but rather coming in from the side door quietly and leading them in their soul direction. Motivation is the key factor when facing life's transition from drinking or drug use to sobriety, to cope with the changes in their lives that give rise to new trended thoughts. They are learning to outweigh their resistance to change and the opportunity to do something they could not do before. This is the informal learning that aims at achieving that objective. The program at the Oasis Addiction Treatment Center, of which I'm a chaplain, is only for 28 days. So there is a very short window of opportunity to guide them in the right direction, but I believe we're achieving that goal. Graymore in Harrison, New York, better known as St. Christopher's, is a monastery run by the Franciscan brothers, not too far from West Point, in the Catskills, which is an extended rehab facility that provides another phase in the rehabilitation process. Individuals may be there from anywhere from 90 days to 9 months, depending upon their progress. It is a quiet mountaintop retreat, a spiritual place that focuses on rehab and spirituality. There can be anywhere from 200 to 400 individuals at the facility at any given time. I've been really blessed to be able to speak at Graymore on a number of occasions with a contingent of recovering alcoholics and former drug users who travel to Graymore as well. These are people who help reinforce to others that sobriety and their success is theirs if they want it. At the close of any of my talks and storytelling, I explain a short prayer. It's a 4-word prayer, not very long by anyone's standard. The first 2 words are thank you. He knows what you're thankful for, and you know what you're thankful for. The second 2 words are I'm sorry. You know what you're sorry for, and he knows what you're sorry for. You don't need a long dissertation in prayer. Just 4 short words should do it. I want you to know that I can speak on this subject because I've personally gone through processes of sobriety, rehab, heartaches, sleepless nights, anguish, being an enabler, prayer and prayer of thanksgiving. They were lost and now they are found. I have 35 years of experience in alcoholism and I don't drink. If I can save but one daughter or son from the ravages of these diseases of alcohol or drugs, that's my mission to complete. We lose a young soul every 3 days on Staten Island. It's a sad day and an epidemic which we have never seen before. This pathway to spiritual recovery outreach includes assisting young people in the detox center at Staten Island University Hospital South, psychiatric center, crisis center at Bailey Seton Hospital as well. In addition, our team members and I have been guest speakers at Veritas Villa in New York, where my wife started her sober life. The audience we are trying to reach has to be restored, renewed, revived, reclaimed, and redeemed. After a person has completed his or her 28-day rehab program, there's no continual spiritual church model on Staten Island or on the internet as well. However, I believe that there is a terrific need for additional stories to be told, souls to be helped, encouragements to be given, advice to be imparted, conversations to be had, and sharing past experiences. Laughing and crying, all with spirituality in mind, and meeting all within an informal atmosphere. The Serenity Prayer is a valuable tool in all recovery. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This spiritual program hopefully shall provide changes in the lives of so many people who need reinforcement, just as those who attend AA, CA, or NA meetings every day or every week and celebrate with those who have become sober and clean. It is a different road that has never been treaded before to broadcast our message on the internet that is geared specifically to the alcohol and drug rehab community. This has never been done before, as far as we know. And there's a very valuable reason and lesson. You cannot have sobriety without spirituality. It's like asking a person to stand on one leg. This method of combining sobriety and spirituality has never been fostered in our community or in the world at large, and is one that can have positive results in providing spiritual aspects to those that need it the most. There is also a cadre of former recovering users and alcoholics that are willing to speak to those in recovery as well. Who better to tell of the pathway to peace and contentment through spirituality than one who has already been down that pathway? In closing, may His hand rest upon your shoulders, and may we work together to foster this new adventure in our outreach ministry. See you next time, and let's get the word out that we're here for all people in recovery. God bless you.